Okay, sweet peas, what's happening? My name is Leslie Williams, and I am in San Diego County, San Diego, California. And as you can clearly see by me showing you this video picture of my cell phone, that it is September 27, 2013, and the time is exactly 9:08 a.m. Now, I'm in San Diego, California, and I'm just going to go ahead and fly right into the reason why I'm making this video. I am a target of what is known as organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking. As a result of being a targeted individual, I make videos. I've been making videos ever since late October, early November 2011, and they have been posted online now for quite some time, practically, actually, almost every day. Sometimes every other day, sometimes only 3 or 4 times a week. But ever since I came back to San Diego, California for the first time, see, I was out here in San Diego between 1 and 38 days in 2006. That's right. And I was gang stalked along all my routes back in 2006 when I was out here between 1 and 38 days. But back then, I did not know what was happening to me was gang stalking. Excuse me. I discovered what was happening to me in my personal life on June 9, 2009 at a library in another state. Now, when I was out here in 2006, I sent some emails, that's right, from the Point Loma Library to Amnesty International and to a prosecutor in Michigan, pertaining to some of the things that had happened to me in another state, and I described some pretty descriptive statements, not only about what happened to me in another state, but also what was happening to me currently in San Diego in that calendar year at the Point Loma Library, concerning cyber hacking, cyber surveillance, and some threats. That's right. Now, I then, as a result of a event that occurred to me in my presence by a specific San Diego police officer in 2006, that event was designed, in gang stalking they're called street theaters, where it's basically nothing but a staged production that they plan before they implement it, and then when they implement it based on the scheme that they planned. Okay, well, basically what I'm saying is they develop a scheme. And then they say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do, and this is our desired outcome. They then approach the targeted individual, whether it be me or any other targeted individual, and then they have their excuses planned why they are approaching the target, and then they basically do this maneuvers in the plan, okay, that will bring about the desired result. And that desired result was to motivate me to move back to Michigan, where I came from, okay, and it worked. Why I had a migraine. This was happening towards me. Now, I've already made some videos concerning, they're called street theaters and gang stalking, and I already made some videos that are already online concerning what they pulled in 2006. That's right. Now, ever since November of at least since November 2011, I've been uploading videos and making blogs online. That's right. Exposing what was currently happening to me in those, at the times the YouTube videos were uploaded and at the time the blogs were made, which were current events at that time. And I still have been doing it since then, because the gang stalking has been going on towards me ever since I came back out here to San Diego for the first time since 2006. When I was out here in 2006, I was here between 1 and 38 days. I then left and went back to Michigan. I then came from Michigan to Connecticut, and then from Connecticut and arrived back in San Diego on August 8, 2011 for the first time since 2006, and I have been gang stalked along every single one of my routes every single day for the whole time duration of each and every place that I went to, including transportation services, MTS. Now, MTS was involved in the gang stalking of me when I was out here in 2006. I just didn't have a name for it. That's right, so was Point Loma Library staff, Point Loma Library security staff, individuals coming in acting as patrons, and in specific businesses that I was going to in 2006 as well, just like I'm experiencing it here now ever since I've been back since August 8, 2011. Now, you might think to yourself, how can all of this harassment be utilized towards a targeted individual everywhere they go? Well, in part, like if you went to Google right now and typed in indigo ribbon space gang stalking space YouTube channel, you'll eventually discover on their YouTube channel and in the description of some of their YouTube videos a flyer. It should still be accessible. I have printed it out, but I apologize I don't have it out of my backpack right now. It shows a flyer that they made of a bunch of different snapshots of of how gang stalking has been covered on the news. It shows one where a public worker, okay, was standing before a judge who was caught initiating gang stalking against a fellow employee, and as a result of her initiating that, she used a government tool, which also is available to law enforcement, and probably more than likely probation officers and parole officers, and probably other government offices as well, what is known as the offender's notification. Now, the community notification, both the offender's notification and the community notification, these can be Googled and cross-referenced to gang stalking. What these criminals that are in the system are doing is using it illegally, completely illegally, to put innocent people, because what they're involved in is organized crime that's in the system that has tentacles out within the community. Okay, blue and white collar workers. And basically what they're doing is using their employment descriptions to aid and abet in not only the perpetration of the crime, but the protection of it as well. That's right. You see this individual, if you find that flyer, you'll see her standing before a judge. And there's also a news broadcast concerning it. In fact, you could probably go to Google right now. I forgot what state it happened in. It might have been New Hampshire. I'm not exactly sure. I forgot. So don't, I don't know if it happened in New Hampshire or not, but she's standing, the snapshot of her standing before the judge comes from a news broadcast. Okay, and it flat out states it right there that she was illegally using what is known as the offender's notification. And so basically in part, this is not the only way that they're able to solicit so much cooperation to get the business community, public libraries, universities, colleges, any store that a target goes into, transportation services. What you got to understand here is that this is organized crime in a system that is using law enforcement tools, which I also suspect a lean computer is being used as well. That's right. To aid and abet in the observation, the stalking of a targeted individual, and in order to solicit slander about the target so they can use people in the community, including businesses, security guards of business plazas, universities, and so on and so forth, to engage in the gang stalking of a target towards a target, and with the people that they're using not even knowing possibly what they're doing is gang stalking. Now, you can go to YouTube and look at a YouTube video called Listen to a Stranger to get a preliminary introduction in reference to how easy it is to dupe anybody to do anything for a person who appears to have a position of authority. It's a good video, just watch it, but it's just like a preliminary introduction. The question for you to ask yourself, two questions in this video, and the first one being, how did they know I came back here to San Diego on August 8, 2011, one day late in reference to my scheduled arrival because of terminal layovers, delays that occurred on the route getting to here. How did they know that I came back to San Diego to initiate the gang stalking that occurred towards me? To be totally honest with you, and I can look you straight in the face and tell you, it was literally even occurring towards me on a Greyhound bus coming out here. That's right. Now, I'm a good woman. I'm not lying to you about anything. I'm not involved in any illegal or criminal activity whatsoever. And I am not mentally ill. I am not a threat to myself or others. I'm just an average person, an average Joe. I'm literally not involved in anything illegal or criminal whatsoever. As a result of it being an open target of this crime now, since 2001, in at least 2 states, San Diego twice, okay, I made a decision. I developed my own strategies in order to be able to box these people in by basically bottlenecking their strategies and methods to make them more transparent. Okay? The regular harassment that they're utilizing around me every day is not working. They want you to feel powerless, helpless, hopeless, defeated, victimized, traumatized. I've been assaulted twice since I've been back here to San Diego. The first assault occurred 1 block away from where I was camping out at in 2006. That's right. Off of Rosecrans and Nimitz. That's right. On August 17, 2011, 9 days after I got here, and then I was brutally assaulted on an MTS bus, which you can look at by going to YouTube and typing in Learning Disabled Woman brutally assaulted on an MTS bus, and then MTS had the audacity to send me an altered video. The video you're looking at on YouTube of me being assaulted is an altered video. And if you look at the back structure of the bus in reference to how the back structure of any MTS bus really is, you'll see how it's altered. And you'll also notice that me and the individual who assaulted me are sitting on the wrong side of the bus in reference to what we were actually sitting on that day. Why is the back door periodically on the wrong side of the bus? Why is the rail that holds the mirror on the wrong side of the bus right next to the back door, and why is the mirror backwards? And why is me and the individual who assaulted me sitting on the opposite side of the bus in reference to where we were actually sitting at? And why would MTS alter a video of me being assaulted? They don't have a problem sending me a video of me being assaulted, but they altered it. Why? And why did the San Diego police lie about it in the police report? Amongst a bunch of other lies in the police report. Now, you know, what I do, I'm homeless. You know, I'm a good woman. I'm not involved in anything illegal or criminal at all. I'm not crazy in any way, shape, or form, and I'm definitely not a threat to myself or others. Now, you can go to Google and you can type in, I'll get to the second thing in a second, but you can go to Google and you can type in that creating homelessness as targets is one of their main objectives that they have for a target. Okay? This is achieved by, well, let me just put it to you this way. If you have organized crime in the system that has power positions in the system that can intimidate landlords and property owners, like building inspectors, city inspectors, that's right, police officers who can create a bogus, fake criminal investigation file about a target, combine it with the authority of his badge, create a fantastic slander campaign that goes with the badge and the bogus criminal investigation file, which can be Googled, and they approach a landlord or a property owner and they say, look, we're trying to get this person out of our area because we suspect they're involved in this, that, this, or that. And they tailor the slander and the criminal investigation file to fit the theme of the slander. Now, do you honestly think that they're not going to be able to get the cooperation of any landlord or property owner? Especially if before, after, or during they've been threatened possibly with a visit from the city inspector or the building inspector. You better believe they will. Because at the end of the day, people, when it comes to them owning property, they don't want any legal problems. They don't want any problems with any police. They don't want it. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is not just organized crime in the system at the state and local level. It's also at the federal level, too. That's right. Now, so property owners and landlords can be brought on board either through threats, intimidation, bribery, collusion, or the fact that the landlord might just be a skanked out freak. Okay? That's right. People, you have, you know, I'm going to tell you something right now. There are a lot of different peoples in society today, and all you got to do is ride the bus. If you got on a bus, okay, any bus transportation services, and rode the bus continuously, say, for 3 hours every day, and stayed on it for 3 hours every day for 45 days, you'll begin to start to understand and see the different types of people there are in the community and how they act, including bus drivers. I got on a bus yesterday, and one of the on bus route 150, and guess what the bus driver was doing once I got on the bus? This. It wasn't this. It wasn't this or this. It was this. And then he was going like this. He was making sure that I've seen it. Now, this was a sexual overture. This is supposed to represent a penis. It has to do with sensitization of organized stalking and gang stalking. It's basically where they send you an implied message concerning why you're actually being gang stalked. Now, I can't get into the in-depth description concerning the factual realities of why individuals are getting along my route and using their finger to put it in their mouth, up by their mouth, or doing things like this, okay? But it's their way to make sure that you notice it so that they can keep it anchored in your mind that the reason why you're being targeted in part has to do with human trafficking and sexual servitude rings. Now, if you go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know, it's a manifesto of a manager of gang stalking crews. I suggest you look at the Bureau of Travel. This is the section of the syndicate that has to do with the syndicated members that are in the travel industry, airlines, trains, Amtrak, buses, Greyhound, and public transportation service workers like MTS. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams, and this little skanked out bus driver has been used many times. He's just some punk. He's a punk. Okay? I just blow it off and see it for what it is and just pray for the guy, you know? But I already know for a fact he's doing it on purpose. Now, what they'll do is call me crazy for it because they got to protect their interest. They got to protect their image, which protects their interest, okay, from premise liability and criminal prosecution and legal liability. You better believe they're going to protect their interest, and they're going to use the cops and probably members in the DA's office and a prosecutor's office because this is organized crime in the system. Now, you would not believe the proof I have. It's just undisputable. The second aspect of this situation is the reason why practically 3 to 4 videos at least a week have been put online since October or November 2011 concerning the criminalities that have been perpetrated against me along all my routes every single day since I've been back in San Diego since August 8, 2011. I didn't start uploading them until October or November 2011 because I didn't know how. I'm learning disabled, but trust me, I am not stupid. Okay? So an incident occurred concerning where I went to try and hike out at on August 8th and 9th of 2013. And that's the reason why I've only uploaded about 3 or 4 videos since then. And so I just want fellow, my viewers, in case I have any regular viewers, the reason why I want them to, I made a bunch of videos, I haven't uploaded them, I have not uploaded all of them that I have made since the 8th and 9th, because I've only been to the library once since then to upload any. That's right, because as a result of what occurred around me, concerning me, at an area that I went to that's not this area, but an area that I went to, a property owner showed up within a half hour of me arriving at that place. Now, I made a video at this location stating that I basically was making a bunch of statements about what was happening to me at this one. I was talking about the methods and tactics of gang stalking that I was experiencing, and just some general statements. And in that audio file that I made, because I wear a running tape recorder on me at all times. Okay, now in that audio file I was stating where I was going to be going. I said, let's see if anybody appears on the scene. I leave here and go there. And within a half hour, supposedly the property owner showed up. And he used the same exact excuse to a T, concerning the reason why he was in that area, in order to be able to then say he noticed me and then would be able to tell me that I cannot hike there. That was used towards me when I was hiking here in 2006. The same exact little excuse. And they got him to do that, I believe, because in organized stalking and gang stalking, what they do is sensitize you to physical gestures, words, phrases, people, okay, in order to anchor associations in your memory about what's happening to you. So then the memory can be stimulated as a result of you being represented with what they anchor. That's right. Because they want you to constantly be mentally preoccupied about the victimization that's happening to you. Just like when a person who's raped, and then they possibly catch the perpetrator, and then they go to trial. In a healthy, normal judicial system, they usually don't like to put the rape victim back on the stand, so that rape victim doesn't have to relive the experience, which they would as a result of being triggered by having the perpetrator in the room, or at least being cognitively aware that the crime is going to trial. It would be a triggering event. Well, this is what organized stalking and gang stalking expeditions do. Is they literally get along your route and repeat things that they know is already anchored to a traumatization, to a word, a phrase that they will anchor as a traumatization is occurring, a person, a type of people, a place, or a previous event. And they will then reintroduce it in order to not only make you feel that you're being raped again as a result of how and why it's being reintroduced, but to stimulate that memory, to keep you in a constant neurocognitive mental loop about the victimization that's occurring towards you every day. That's right. And they will represent the physical gesture, the word, the phrase, even sounds. Now, you got to extensively Google and YouTube gang stalking and sensitization, or organized stalking and sensitization. So, what I decided to do as a result is to set up 3 to 4 separate new hiking areas and take identical kits to each one. That way, whenever I have to, because I decided to move from this one, because the reason why I went to the one that I went to on September 8th was because I'm being gang stalked at this hiking area by some skanked out freaks they set up about 200 feet away, who are periodically yelling gang stalking from a distance, and then when they do that, they will anchor a threat. See, they say they're gang stalking to get my attention through my ears, and then they'll say something like, why don't you come and steal her stuff, why don't you call the cops on her, even though they're supposed to be hiking too. And this is done to anchor a threat which generates fear or anxiety, or at least frustration like anger, hate, you hating them because you got to constantly be harassed everywhere you go, including at your own home. And if you don't believe that I don't harass you at your own home and everywhere you go to YouTube and type in go to YouTube and type in gang stalking bullying on steroids. They're gang stalking that individual along all of his routes. He flat out states that he wishes he could go play ping pong or tennis or whatever without being bothered or harassed, and that it's nerve-wracking. And that he's even gang stalked at his own home by individuals getting on his roof. Now, if they'll go as far as renting apartments adjacent to targets, or soliciting current tenants that are above, below, or next to a target in an apartment building, if they'll gang stalk them to a motel room, if they'll gang stalk them when the target's in a car, if they'll gang stalk them to businesses, do you honestly believe they will not gang stalk them to a hiking area? Bullshit. Now, on February 20th, 2013, an individual admitted to me in a hidden running tape recorder the San Diego police officer put him on a corner to engage in gang stalking for me to experience once I got off a bus route, got my bike off the bus, and then would walk my bike to that corner where they placed him at. And the reason why they knew I was going to be going to that corner is because I was on a bus that was going to an area for me to go to a t-shirt shop, okay, that I rarely go to, okay, and I Googled a MapQuest that t-shirt shop's address from the North University San Diego Public Library, where I caught a branch manager literally flat out directly engaging in wide open gang stalking. Hang on. Okay. And now cyber surveillance is a method of gang stalking. When you go to the Google and you type in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know, which is a manifesto of a manager of gang stalking crews, he flat out states that the communications of that all the electronic communications of a target are monitored. Hold on 1 second. He flat out states that all of the communications of a targeted individual are monitored. So they just deduced that the only way that they can put the crafted harassment for a target to experience every day to keep him in a constant cognitive neural loop about every time the target sees or hears the harassment, the only way that they could place the crafted harassment for a target to either see or hear is for them to know where a target's at in real time at all times. I have over 700 audio files, separate audio files, of individuals getting around me and constantly saying gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalking, gang stalk, gang stalk, gang stalk, oh my god, weird, crazy, gang stalk, oh my god, weird, crazy, and another word that has the initial CH. The only way that can be put around me every day, everywhere I go, and the physical gestures, that's right, is they got to know where I'm at in order to place these individuals along my routes to do it. It's the only way. Okay? So, I just woke up, so bear with me. So, what I'm basically trying to say is that through the cyber surveillance, they basically ascertained that I was looking at the t-shirt shop address because I had been there twice before, but I kept getting Midway Drive confused with the intersection before it. Okay? And so I wanted to make sure that I had it anchored in my mind exactly where it was at. So I looked it up and MapQuested it at the North University San Diego Public Library. And then I went there right after I left the San Diego District Attorney's office. Okay. I got on 2 buses, and then when I got off the bus, I took my bike off the bus, walked to a corner, and there was an individual gaslighting me. So when I walked up to him, I said, you know, you guys are all the same. I go, who put you on this corner? And as I was saying this, while I was noticing him gaslighting me, a San Diego police officer pulled up to the intersection, made a U-turn in front of us, and he gaslighted me. So I said, is it that guy? He said, yeah. I go, you're kidding me. A San Diego police officer put you on this corner? He said, yeah. I go, really? What was his name? He goes, Steve. That's right. Then on January 28, 2012, that occurred on, the San Diego police incident occurred on February 20th, 2013. Now, on January 28, 2012, 3 teenagers admitted they were put on a bus route to engage in gang stalking of me, a bus route I was already on, which was the same bus route that I was assaulted on. That's right. Go to YouTube, and again, go to YouTube and type in Learning Disabled Woman Brutally Assaulted on an MTS Bus. That's right. Now, I'm in San Diego, California, and I'm a good woman. And the reason why you haven't seen, if I got any regular viewers, the reason why you haven't seen any videos being uploaded except for maybe on one day since the 4th or 5th of September 2013 is because I had to go through all of my property in order to be able to make up identical kits, in order to then find 3 to 4 separate identical hiking areas. So I can depend on them, so when I get evicted from each one of those, each time I have to move, I won't have to move everything I own. And I'm also creating an emergency kit as well. I've also at least went through $250 having to buy things for each kit. These are the results of organized stalking and gang stalking. Now, if they can get property owners and landlords on board to assist in the eviction of a target, that's right, and that can be Googled. They can also get postal employees on board to steal or delay a target's rent. That can be Googled as well. It's called mail theft and mail delayment. Then you can understand why targeted individuals are made homeless. You can also go to Google and type in organized stalking or gang stalking and social services workers. Now, I'm learning disabled. I want you to look at me. I don't know what kind of a, I'm just going to make a general statement here. I don't know what kind of a person you are, because I don't know who's watching this video. So I don't know what you're going to conclude concerning this. But if you're a normal, healthy individual, just ask yourself, how would you feel about anybody, especially a police officer or a lawyer, who might be involved in a crime syndicate that is trying to literally human traffic a learning disabled woman? What do you think about that? If they'll do that to me, do you honestly think they won't do that to anybody? That would be just like, how like when you hear about a robbery happening and then a civilian being killed and then a police officer being killed. And then it's reported on the news, and the way they reported that even a police officer was killed, and they show the police officer's picture and everything. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're trying to illustrate to the community that even a person who's got the audacity to kill a police officer, that should describe to you what kind of a criminal that person is, because he has no restraints at all. Okay? Well, if they'll go as far, if they got the criminal nature to try and human traffic, which I have been sexually exploited in another state. Gang stalking is happening in every state in the United States. That's right. If they'll go to the lengths to human traffic a learning disabled woman, what does that tell you? Now, I gotta stop this video, but I will say this. Fellow American citizens, I have nothing against police officers. The Hemet Police Gang Squad in Riverside County, along with some Riverside County officials, were gang stalked in 2010, and that can be Googled. Go to Google and type in GS Watchdog space YouTube channel, Hemet Police Gang Squad being gang stalked. You'll find a GS Watchdog, which is a YouTube channel, video about the Hemet Police Gang Squad being gang stalked, and then in the video of that, you'll find an Examiner.com link. Click on it, or paste it in at Google. You'll see how the Hemet Police Gang Squad was being gang stalked. The sophisticated surveillance they were put under to set them up to possibly be murdered. And us targeted individuals are also mentioned in this manifesto. In this Examiner.com article. I gotta go. I'm a good woman. I'm not involved in any illegal or criminal activity whatsoever, and I didn't make this video to bash police officers. If you're a good police officer and you're not involved in gang stalking, I salute you. That's right. But if you are, you better pray I never get your name. Because I even look out for my other fellow targeted individuals who are being gang stalked, like Bonnie in Oceanside, California, who's being gang stalked by the Carlsbad Police and the Oceanside Police Department. Be careful, because I am not your regular target. It is my goal and my aim to expose every person that I can identify that engages in these criminalities. And I will say this as well. I have seen 2, I believe it's San Diego Sheriff's officers being targeted. I can't say who they are because I didn't get their names, but they are being set up to be targeted later. They will gang stalk police officers as well, so if you're a police officer, watch your back. I gotta go. I appreciate you listening, and have a nice day.